Welcome back to the channel. Today I bring to you the official UFC Freedom 250 bingo card. Now we're going to go through the card. We're going to go through all of the tiles on the card, all the slots on the card. Just give a little brief explanation of all of them. Um, as I've said, this is the official. There's no better bingo card than this one, so don't even worry about the others. This is so good it's become the official bingo card of UFC Freedom 250. But we're gonna get right into it. I'll disappear for just a moment. There you go. If you wanna play along at home at the White House card, you wanna play along at home and cross these off. There is no prize. It's just for bragging rights. Just for bragging rights. Just a little bit of entertainment there. But yeah, and that's enough time to screenshot that. And we're going to go through it. We're just going to go through and explain what each tile means, just in case there needs to be a little bit of clarification there. And we're going to go from left to right, top to bottom. So, first tile, terrorist or assassin. Now, that means that there will be a terrorist attack or an assassination attempt. Now, Trump's always got someone gunning for him. Like every other day, someone's trying to put a bullet in Trump. So I reckon this is a good opportunity for an assassin. Not that it's a great. If there was ever a time, anyway. There's gonna be some sort of drama. Okay, he's out in the open. Okay, the public's gonna be about. I guess. Probably not actually. Who could afford to go? Maybe someone's gonna. I don't know. Something's going to go down, okay? There's going to be some sort of international political drama going down. It's a certain. That's a good one to have on the card, on the bingo card. Tile number 2. Gagey walks out with an Israel flag. This could set off tile 1. This could really set off tile 1. It doesn't necessarily mean that, Big Donny, the Big Donny is the one that gets blickied. It could be, Gagey could come out with that Israel flag. That could stir up some hatred in the crowd. You never know who's going to be there. It could be, it could go wild. It could go wild. But yeah, Gagey walks out with an Israel flag. I think that's quite likely to happen in light of recent events. Tile number 3, we have Gan by eye poke. Now this is a specific. This is Cyril Gan wins the fight by a TKO, but the sequence contains within it an eye poke. So if pokes the eye, then he starts putting it on Pereira. That's that. There we go. That's Gan by eye poke. The winning sequence, the finishing sequence has to contain an eye poke to get this one. Not too difficult considering it's Cyril Gan and he eye pokes a lot. It could be just Cyril Gan throwing an eye poke. We're not going to count extended fingers, but fingers making contact with the eyeball is what will count here, and we do get bonus points if it does lead to finishing the fight. Tile number 4, a fire. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Maybe a light will fall. Maybe there'll be lightning will strike. Who knows? Anything can maybe tile 1 has something to do with this. Who knows? But a fire. Pretty self-explanatory. A fire will break out. Maybe a homeless person, trying to keep warm, accidentally sets fire to some trees. I don't know, but a fire will break out. That's on the card right there. It's on the bingo card right there. A fire may break out. Tile number 5. O'Malley fumbles a finish. Now, this is Sean O'Malley. As we know, as of late, Sean O'Malley's not really been putting out the finishes that Sean O'Malley used to. He keeps fumbling it. He keeps getting his opponents hurt, and he doesn't seem to get the finish. He fumbles it. So I put it on the bingo card. O'Malley fumbles the finish. It's likely. He probably drops Ariel Helwani. Ayman Zahabi. He probably drops him and then doesn't finish him. And the fight goes the distance. I can see it happening. I really can. Good title to have. Good title to have. Next one, number 6, is rain. We're outside. The event is taking place outdoors. Therefore, the rain may be a factor. It could rain. Look, you can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. Simple as that. Simple as that. If Outcast has taught me anything, it's that. On to the next tile. Derek Lewis falls over. This is basically, you may as well cross this one off now. I'm sure Derek Lewis has already fallen over at some point leading up to this event. He will surely have fallen over. Derek Lewis is want to fall over quite a bit. So yeah, Derek Lewis falls over. That's quite an easy one. We can probably that's basically a free tile. Derek Lewis falls over mid-fight. Derek Lewis is the body type to be. That's why he just gets up. That's why we used to say Derek Lewis just gets up, because he's so used to falling over. That he just, you know what I mean? It's built into his game. He just falls over all the time. But yeah, Derek Lewis falls over. Another easy tile, to be honest with you. We're not trying to make this difficult, okay? We're just trying to add a bit of flavour to the card, a bit of pizhuzh, a bit of pizh. Next tile, flatline KO. Obviously, self-explanatory. Not someone getting like pounded out and they've got time to protest or whatever. I'm talking face down on the canvas. This could be Justin Gaethje. Gaethje could be face down on the canvas with Ilya celebrating above him while he's just flat lines, just like against Max Holloway. We're going to see a finish like that. At least that's what I'm predicting anyway. So we've got it on the bingo card. We're going to see a flatline KO. It could be. Imagine Gan. Imagine Gan gets absolutely chinned by Pereira and he's just laying face down on the ground, completely flatlined, slimed out, if you will. But yeah, next tile. Insects impact a fight. This could be anything. This could be bugs flying in front of the camera. Maybe they buzz around the cameraman and he falls over. That could happen too. You know, they could interrupt the submission. You know, someone's got the rear naked locked in, and something just starts buzzing in the rear, and they're like, oh god, and they let go of the choke. And insects impact the fight. I personally think that with the bright lights and the heat and the humidity, I could really see someone being devoured to the bone. I think Cyril Gane may be devoured to the bone, like a swarm of insects will fly in, devour Cyril Gane, and just leave a pile of bones in the cage. So yeah, insects will impact the fight. I think it's a given. This isn't one that you can put on every UFC bingo card. This is a UFC Freedom 250 specific bingo card. You know, if you had that on any other, if you had that on an Apex fight night, you'd never get it. But this Freedom 250, this is the night where insects could impact the fight. Next tile, tile number 10, I do believe. Charlie Kirk gets mentioned. Maybe they'll do a memorial. Maybe they'll stop in between. Maybe before the fights, they'll do like a memorial, and Charlie Kirk will get mentioned there. Maybe a post-fight speech. Someone will mention Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's name will be dropped at some point during the event. You just got to keep your ears open. I'm sure it'll be there. Maybe it'll be the audience. Who knows? Who could say? Charlie Kirk will be mentioned, however. So that's a good one. That's a good tile to have. You know, we're getting patriotic. We're a tribute to fallen soldier. Next tile. Joe Rogan mentions calf kicks. Now, I should have really changed this to like Joe Roganisms. You know, it could be calf kicks changed the game. It could be, John Jones developed a spinning back kick at fucking 40 odd. You know, it could be any of those things. How did Pereira fucking manage to make 205? How the hell did Pereira manage to make 205? It could be like that. Joe Roganisms, just those things he does because he's really checked out of the sport and he doesn't really give a shit anymore. All those things he kind of says just to kind of pretend he's excited about the fights, even though he doesn't care. He just wants to go back and smoke a bit of weed and do a podcast with some science denier or something. I don't fucking know. Trump on commentary. Next tile. Trump on commentary. At some point in the night, I think we'll get Trump on commentary. Maybe it'll be for the main events. Maybe it'll be for the main and co-main. Who could say? I think we'll get Trump on commentary. I think he'll be sat in the booth with Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier. Great fighter. Great fighter. My favorite fighter. Wow, when I remember being here, I remember being at the Ali Joe Frazier fight. Just something fucking. Floyd Mayweather. Great boxer, great fighter. I remember the boxing. I was a fan of it. But yeah. And then we have Freedom 250, as you can see right there, free. That's a free tile. You can cross that off right now before that event even starts. Okay, that's the Freedom 250 free tile. Next we have Chandler is entertaining, not effective. Michael Chandler often in his fights he'll do something that's like, oh, that's pretty cool, He'll pick someone up. He'll be in like a submission. He'll pick someone up and he'll walk around with them on his arm. He'll get someone on his back and he'll stand up and he'll jump and try and slam them. You know, he'll do some entertaining shit, but in the long run, it won't really be effective, and he'll still lose the fight. So yeah, that's a pretty easy one as well. That's a Michael Chandler staple. That he does some shit that's entertaining but not really effective. And he cheats as well. So you know, we'll have to wait and see. You know, that could be entertaining and effective, really, when you think about it. But yeah, you know, Michael Chandler will do something entertaining, not effective. You know, even if he gets knocked unconscious, that's entertaining but not effective. So yeah, Michael Chandler does something that entertains the crowd but doesn't really lead to him winning the fight in any circumstance. Next tile, Trump Glaze. Trump Glaze. I think after every single fight, when the fighter gets the microphone handed to them, they're gonna be like, "Thank you, Trump. Thank you, Mr. Trump." It's gonna be that straight up. Thank you, Mr. Trump, for letting us host this event on the White House lawn. It's gonna be all that. Maybe someone will, you know, take a moment to like ask for something political. I don't know. Who could say? You know, maybe not the time or the place, but there's definitely going to be a lot of Trump glaze. They're going to be like, yeah, just to perform in front of the president, in front of the White House. It's going to be a lot of that. It's going to be a lot of that. Next tile, Trump puts the belt on champs. The title fights that take place, you guarantee that Donald Trump is going to be in that octagon, putting the belt around the champion. If it's Pereira, becoming 3-time champ, he's going to be putting the belt on him. You know, if it's Gane, he's still going to put the belt on him. Topuria, Gagey, he's going to put the belt on him. He's just going to do it. That's how it's going to go. Obviously, what's the point in doing it at the White House if we don't have Trump putting the belt on people? What's the point of the gimmick? And I called it a gimmick. What's the point in the gimmick? You know. Next up, we have Gagey and Topuria are BFFs afterwards. It's been getting heated. They've been beefing back and forth. Okay, you know, Gagey said that, you know, Ilya was unbearable, and no wonder his wife left him. And then Gagey was like, "Oh, don't talk about the mother of my children." But Gagey didn't. Gagey said that you were unbearable, and that he agreed. In fact, if anything, it was in support of your ex-wife. If anything, when you think about it, but there's a language barrier, you know. I mean, I thought there was a language barrier, but Ilya seems to speak perfect English, so. You know, maybe just a little bit of something got lost in translation there. Maybe he speaks it but doesn't read it. I don't know. It's been getting heated nonetheless. I can guarantee you that they will be best friends after this fight. You know, it'll be interesting to see how everyone reacts, you know, given the Sean Strickland Hamzat Chimaev, where Hamzat and Sean were like, "Oh, we're friends now." Everyone was like, "No, you don't get to be friends. You've got to be bitter enemies." But yeah, Cope, right? Cope. Now Hamzat's wanting a rematch. It's Cope. Anyway, Topuria and Gagey will be BFFs after it. I'm excited to see the outrage. Next tile. Someone retires. It could be Gagey. It could be Gagey. It could be Chandler. Someone retires on this card. They hang it up. That's a good place to end it. They say in the speech, what better place to end it all? What better place to hang it up? And they take the gloves off and they leave them in the center. Someone's going to retire. Someone, probably Chandler, maybe Gagey, is probably going to retire at this event, a big event, world stage. What better place to actually retire? So yeah, I think someone retires. I think someone retires. Yeah, that's a good tile to have on the old bingo card. Next tile. Josh Hokett says some nonsense. This has probably already happened. This is probably another one that's already happened, but it has to be within the confines of Freedom 250. This could happen mid-fight. This could happen post-fight. If they interview him, pre-fight, he could do it then. Josh Hokett would say some nonsense. It could be an ice joke, you know? It could be that. It could be him just beefing with Ilya Topuria and Alex Pereira again. It could be just some more of that. Josh Hokett. It could be slam poetry. It could be some Chael Sonnen WWE slam poetry. Josh Hokett is going to say some nonsense. Next tile. Israeli flag will be visible in the crowd. Listen, this could go with Gagey walking out with the Israel flag as well. You know, that also crosses this one off technically. At some point in the night, we will see an Israeli flag in that crowd. I have high expectations of this. This is a good tile to have. I'd be surprised if we don't sweep the entire board tonight. Tonight on Saturday or Sunday. Saturday night. But yeah, I think we'll see an Israeli flag. You know, this event is being made very political. I'm sure that the UFC's happy that Gagey and Taporia are beefing a bit now. There's something else for people to talk about. But this has been very politically dominated. Has been the discussion around this card. Um, so yeah, I think we'll see an Israeli flag in the crowd, or maybe even outside. I put in the crowd, so it doesn't count if it is outside the arena. But if there's an Israeli flag on that White House lawn, on that White House lawn, you win. You win that tile. That tile gets crossed. Next is Bo Nickel complains. Look, another one that's probably already happened. Bo Nickel, even when he's winning, he's complaining. Bo Nickel just loves to complain. And listen, don't get me wrong. Bo Nickel's all right. He gets the job done. Okay, he's a scrapper. But my God, will he complain? You give Bo Nickel a job to do, and he'll do it, but he'll complain the whole time. And he'll do it well. He'll do the job well, but he will complain about doing it the whole time. That's the kind of guy that Bo Nickel is. He's just a complainer. He's just a whiny bitch. Next tile, pretty self-explanatory. Submission finish. Somebody gets a submission. This is actually probably a more difficult one. It's probably one of the more difficult tiles to actually come by. This is probably, fire and submission finish are probably quite hard ones to get. Let's be honest with ourselves. Card's not really built for a submission finish. We could see it. We could see a Kyle Dorcas getting a submission. That's there's a potential there. A Hail Mary submission from Michael Chandler. That's an option. These things exist. These things do exist. So yeah, there's potential. There's potential for a submission finish happening on the card, but I do think that's actually a pretty difficult tile to get, just with the way this card is built, the way this card is put together. Next tile, we're coming towards the end. Hope you've lasted this long. Thank you for sticking around. Coming towards the end. Third to last. Or yeah. Anyway, Strickland crashes the event. Sean Strickland has been uninvited. Dana White's said that, he can come or whatever. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. He says he has a ticket. He says that he's been uninvited. He says he's going to turn up with a bullhorn and protest if he can't get in. Sean Strickland's going to crash the event, so he says. It'll be interesting to see. I want to see it. I want to see it. So yeah, I think it'd be entertaining. It'd be funny. Sean Strickland out there on the lawn just fucking chanting political shit while there's fights going on, and there's a bunch of fucking the left wing LGBT all out there as well, and Sean Strickland's among them, like he's one of them. That'd be hilarious. That'd be great to see. Because everyone would be so confused. Anyway, Strickland crashes the event. Maybe he starts fighting. Maybe he's the assassin. Maybe Strickland's the assassin. Maybe he starts firing shots into the crowd. Who could say? Anything could happen. We're fighting at the White House. Second to last one, we're almost done. Co-main tile on the bingo card. Massive upset. A massive upset. This could happen, okay? Imagine this. Gagey goes out there and knocks Ilia Topuria out in the first 30 seconds. Fucking GSP Matt Serra style. Just clocks him with one. Clean. Ilia doesn't see it coming. It's over. Flatline KO. I don't know, man. It could happen. It could happen. Massive upset. Michael Chandler could pull off a sneaky, crafty win. You never know. Cyril Gane could jab the eyeballs out of Pereira. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. We're fighting at the White House. We're at the White House. Anything's possible. Okay. Massive upset. And finally, the last tile. Definitely an easy tile. Nice easy tile for the corner. Cormier. Daniel Cormier eating. This could be Daniel Cormier eating into the microphone. This could be, him smack on his lips. It could be him breathing heavily. This is a regular occurrence. This is a regular occurrence on cards with Daniel Cormier there. He'll be sitting there, he'll be eating, he'll be drinking, he'll be slurping, he'll be breathing heavily because he's trying to catch his breath around the food that he's stuffing into his mouth. Daniel Cormier's cardio has never been worse than when he's eating. When he's eating, man, when he's stuffing his face, and he's gasping, you can hear it on the microphone when he's commentating. It's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing, but it's likely to happen. Daniel Cormier eating. I mean, I hope the insects put him off. Actually, maybe the insects will actually impact the event. Maybe they'll impact the fight by having Daniel Cormier not eating throughout it because he's scared an insect will land on his sandwich. Who could say? Who could say? But that does wrap up this video, I'll give you a chance. Right, yeah, I've disappeared. I'll give you a chance again to capture this little bingo card so you can play along yourselves at home. But that does wrap up the video. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for sticking around all the way until the end. Until next time, keep your chin down and keep swinging. Peace and love. I'll see you around.